What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna start on my 1990 Mazda RX7 Turbo 2. As you guys know, this was a barn find. It was stored for about 21 years. Look at the license plate here. It was stored in 2002, and this registration was set to expire in February of 2003. So that's how long this car's been parked. I just put it on jack stands here. I knew this was gonna be a full restoration kind of build. That's exactly what I wanted. If you wanna know the whole story behind this car, check out my video that I posted a couple videos ago about when I picked this car up and the whole story behind it. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but I will tell you what my plans are for this. So I want this to be basically mint. I wanna bring it back to life and have it looking and performing like it just came off the showroom floor in 1990. This is gonna be completely OEM, okay? Everything on this car right now is completely stock. This is a S5 though, it's a 1990 Turbo 2, but the original wheels that came with it were stolen in the 90s at some point, and the guy I bought this from, he bought S4 turbo wheels. So I do want to change these at some point to the very sought after S5 Turbo 2 wheels. So if any of you know where I can get those wheels for a decent price, not like 2-3 grand or something crazy, find me on Instagram, message me, and let me know where I can find those, because I've been looking everywhere. So right now the car is completely stock. The only thing that isn't stock is the exhaust, which is going to get changed anyways because it is completely rusted. I'll show you guys in a second what I'm talking about. The wheels are OEM, but they're not the ones that came with this car originally, so I'm going to change those as well. Everything else is just going to get completely restored. Basically, this video is just going to be going in depth and seeing what's going on with this car, what work it needs, and getting it ready to be fired up. Obviously, I'm not just gonna throw some fuel in it and turn the key. It's been parked way too long. It was stored indoors, but it was stored with a half tank of fuel, and it was leaking oil and some other stuff. So I'm gonna do as much as I can to make sure I start it correctly, change all the fluids and stuff and the oil and coolant before I do that, because I don't want to cause any damage to this. Sit back and enjoy the video. You guys are going to go through this car with me right now, and we're going to see what the project is looking like. I had a quick look underneath. I was a little disappointed. It needs a little more work than I thought, but again, you know, I basically got this car for free, and this is going to be kind of what I use to learn as much as I can. I want to learn welding. I want to learn everything I can on this car. I'm going to paint it myself, so on and so forth. So if I mess up, so be it. It's not like it was, you know, a $20,000-$30,000 car I bought that I'm messing up on. I'm going to try doing my best, but this definitely will be something I want to do completely by myself. So without further ado, let's get right into it, and I'm going to show you guys what we're working with. Okay, so first let's start with the exterior, then we'll go underneath the car, and then I'll show you guys the engine bay, lastly the interior. So exterior of the car looks pretty clean. There's not much rust on it from what you can see here. There is some, but it's not horrible. Like, it didn't like eat through it completely. It's kind of surface rust, a little bit of it's peeling, but very repairable. So rust is not that crazy. I'm gonna need new window trim. Sunroof has got some rust going on, surface rust. We'll see if we can repair that. Otherwise, I'll need a new one. Obviously, some of the weather stripping on here is gonna need some attention. Everything's old and brittle. So typical with, you know, 90s cars now, 30 plus years old. Looks like there was some repair done here with Bondo or filler of some sort, which is cracking. No big deal. Car's gonna get painted anyways. Definitely needs new rubber. This one doesn't hold air. Honestly, even if it did hold air, I was gonna change all the tires anyways because they're 20 years old. That's a huge safety risk. So all the tires turn freely except for that one. That one's completely stuck. We tried moving it with the tow truck and everything, and that one will not let go. So maybe the calipers rusted or something's going on there. That one needs to be addressed. The car doesn't roll right now because this wheel does not want to turn. So all four brakes obviously will need to get changed. The calipers will need to be rebuilt. Suspension will need to be redone just from it sitting so long. Windshield looks good, no cracks. The cowl here looks pretty good. These usually crack pretty easy. There are a lot of dents and dings, but again, it's cosmetic stuff, and car is gonna get painted down the line, so that's okay. So this was running and driving. The only thing it had was a dead battery when they parked it, but that was 20 years ago, so all of that is pretty much irrelevant. The guy didn't really do anything to store it correctly. He just towed it into a storage unit, locked it up, and that was it. The body is pretty clean. And some more over here. Surface rust, some of the suspension components and stuff like that have a little bit more. So overall, from first glance, from looking here, not a bad car for pretty much, you know, something that's free, right? Okay, so let's get underneath it and see what we're working with underneath. Going underneath the car from the driver's side, first thing I noticed was the pinch welds are just destroyed, man. If any of you have a car like this, or a Z32 or whatever else, if you are lifting your car or jacking up your car or putting jack stands on a pinch weld and not knowing how to do it the right way, screw you guys. Honestly, like, this is, come on. The frame rail is right there. Like, why do you ever need to do this? They're just destroyed and they're just rusty. I'm probably gonna have to rebuild these somehow. I don't even know how to do that. But the pinch welds was the first thing I noticed. That was a big bummer. Kind of expected it. But looking at the frame rails, there's some denting going on in this one right here. So someone was jacking this car up the worst way possible, which is very unfortunate. And you know, there's a lot of rust going on underneath. For those of you that have seen the bottom of my Z32, that car was clean, man. And that was that car had, like, I mean, the mileage was like a lot less too. It had 40,000 miles less than this car did. Same year though. And that car is minty. This car is not so much. This is a full-on project. Like you can see here, kind of nasty over here. This is the worst part. This is right underneath the driver's seat. So there's a hole, man. So this whole thing, let me see if I can get you guys a better look. This whole thing, so this is the pinch weld. This whole area right here is bad. This is gonna fall apart. So I guess I'm gonna learn how to weld. This was a bummer. When I saw this, I was like, shit. Okay, anyways, moving a little bit more towards the middle. Frame rails, for the most part, look okay. Other than that little dent I was talking about, exhaust is completely shot. Like it's just peeling apart and completely rusted all the way through. Looks like there's some aggressive leaks going on. I don't even know what would be leaking up here. Okay, so that's what's leaking. All right. Now, I don't know if this stuff is leaking or if it just sat so long. I'm really gonna have to clean this up because right now it looks like everything is freaking leaking. The worst though is the oil pan. That thing is still dripping. Here you go. I hope it's not an oil pan gasket, but from what I checked online from a quick search, it most likely is. Look at this oil pan. It's still dripping right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is my first rotary, so this is gonna be a learning curve for me. Any and all advice and help is appreciated. This is crusty, man. Well, that's underneath this side. Let me go to the other side real quick and give you guys a glimpse of that side as well. No surprise on this side either. Pinch welds completely destroyed. Oh, the rust is even worse on this side, man. That is just eaten apart. This is very unfortunate. This really bummed me out when I saw this. I did not want to do this much rust repair. frame rail of this side is a little more rusted up than the other side, but looks like it's dented up just the same. Obviously, all the bushings and everything on the suspension are gonna get changed as well. And all the suspension components. Let's pop that hood and see what we're working with up there. Everything is here. And honestly, man, it looks solid. This is probably the best part about this whole car. This thing is solid. Everything looks great. Obviously, all the rubber hoses and stuff like that are gonna need to be replaced, but it's all here, except the battery. There was a battery in here, obviously a very old battery that was in here. I got rid of that. Obviously, I'm gonna change the belts. I'm gonna change pretty much every rubber hose in here. I know the mice did get here at some point. If I see a mouse right now, man, I swear to God, this video is gonna end. I'm gonna change all the fuel lines in here. I'm gonna change whatever else. I do hope the mice didn't eat any wires. The only thing I noticed that they were chewing on was some of that, which obviously they like to do, most cars. But this wire right here, don't think they really damaged anything, but we'll figure it out as we figure it out. All the rubber hoses, fuel lines, I'll change all of that. All the belts I'll change. Like, these are old, man. Like, I'll use them just to fire up the car, but eventually, before I really start driving this thing, all of that will get changed. I'm gonna pull the spark plugs. There's 2 leading, I believe, and 2 trailing on this car. I'm gonna pull those, squirt some oil in there, turn the motor over by hand, let it sit for a few days before I try to start this thing. There's a half tank of fuel in it right now. It's 20-year-old fuel, so I'm gonna drain all of that out, pull out the fuel pump, see what that looks like. Probably change the fuel pump, or at the very least, change the sock. Before I fire this thing up, I'll drain the coolant, put some new coolant in it as well. All right, let me show you guys the inside and give you guys a good view of what we're working with. So this door card is immaculate. Like, look at this. Everything's just dirty, obviously. Just needs a cleaning, but it's pretty perfect. And I think I can bring this back to life, no problem. Interior, for the most part, is in good condition, just very dirty. For these seats, I'm either gonna get these rebuilt or just buy new ones. But I do wanna keep OEM seats in this car, so if I get new seats, it'll be Turbo 2 S5 seats. I don't wanna put Recaros or something like that in here. I wanna keep this car all original, like I said. Even the stereo is original, and it is gonna stay original. Dash looks good, no cracking or anything at all. Like, try to imagine this completely detailed and shampooed with new seats. I think it's gonna look great. Steering wheel, a little bit rough, but I think with a decent clean, all of this I'm pretty sure I can get out. It will look great as well. More rust, that's probably what's going down to underneath the car, I'm guessing. Carpets will get shampooed, I'll get some floor mats. Yeah, these seats are the biggest thing in here. Pretty sure I can find someone to rebuild them, put new foam in and everything. If it's cheaper for me to just buy a new good set, that is what I'll do. I definitely won't sit on these seats though, I'll tell you that much. I took a couple things apart here and there, so keep that in mind. These things are kind of broken, the speaker covers. That will need to be changed. There's some other plastics in the car as well that are broken. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. I think a good cleaning will make this interior look like a completely different car. For the most part, not bad. This door card looks good as well. Just dirty. Maybe a new vent. I think I can fix that actually. It doesn't look broken, just looks like it came out. Broken piece of trim right there. I'm guessing it's for up there, the A-pillar. Because the passenger side looks okay, so I'll need a new one of that. Look how nice the headliner is. What is this? Man, by the way, this guy gave me a folder with every service record since new for this car. They had a new clutch like a month before he parked it. I mean, I don't know if that's still gonna be good. It should be, I guess, but pretty wild. Cassettes. That is so cool, man. This car is literally like a time capsule. I might go see what I can find in those bins. Yikes. Some sort of pliers. Armor All leather care. Look how old this bottle is. Obviously, don't ever use Armor All leather care. It's not good. It's alcohol based, I'm pretty sure. This is what your seats end up like if you probably use this. It's mostly all garbage. So it's pretty much just all garbage. Nothing really too interesting in here. And in the other one, he's got like some sort of CD changer. There's more parts to that CD changer in the back here. Okay, so I just tried pulling this CD player out of that bin right there, and it's wired in. So I'm thinking he had some sort of aftermarket CD 12 disc, looks like a 12 disc CD exchanger kind of thing installed. So that's what all this is. I'm definitely gonna remove that. Here's the remote for it. Maybe take out the garbage. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna take out the garbage. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna do a full detail video where I strip this car down and clean everything. So I'll do that then. I'm not gonna half-ass it right now, so I'll leave that for then. Okay, so that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I just wanted to give you guys a kind of an in-depth walkthrough of my of the new build. By the way, this doesn't mean that you're not gonna see any Z32 stuff anymore. That car is still my baby. There's always work and stuff going on with that car, so there's definitely gonna be Z32 videos, but this is probably gonna take a lot of my time for the next bit, so this should be interesting. You know what? Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. It's still going to be interesting even if you guys don't have a car like this. It's still a 90s Japanese car, so it's still going to be fun. It's going to have its challenges, probably a lot more challenges than my Z32, but we'll figure it out. All I really hope is that I don't have to rebuild this rotary. I know it's likely that I will have to because it's been sitting so long, but we'll figure it out. In the next video, you guys can expect me trying to start this car. I'm gonna drain the fuel, can pull the fuel pump up from the top here in the trunk, so I'm gonna do that, change that. Honestly, I'll probably have a look at it off camera to see if I need to order parts, if I can get away with just a fuel pump or if I gotta order everything. So I'll probably do that part off camera, but the install and everything I'll do on camera. Then I'll change out the spark plugs, drain the coolant, oil, all of that you guys will see me doing. Put a battery on this thing and see if we can fire it up with some fresh fuel. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are excited. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna learn a lot. I think this will really take my skills to a whole new level. That's why I got this car. So I know this video is probably kind of a bit boring because not much was really done, just a lot of talking, but it was necessary to do at least once before I started with this car. YouTube is not just me trying to be entertaining for you guys, it's also documenting everything I do for myself. So I definitely wanted to do a video like this before I tear into this thing. And I wanted an in-depth video of how it was before I started it. So that's what this was. Anyways, I'll catch you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.